Cold open, man. I'll give you some
We've got
pointers.
We've got a little intro that we
Yeah,
do
then you
normally.
throw in the intro right
Yeah.
here.
Welcome in, everybody, to the third episode of the Coach's Corner podcast. I'm your host, Tanner Beasley, and today I'm here with our special guest, the head cross-country coach at Banks County High School, Coach Nugent. How are we doing?
Sir. Doing well, Tanner. Thank you for having me
Sounds
on.
good.
Let me
Yes,
just
sir.
start by saying I love what you're doing here. I got to say I'm quite envious of what y'all got going
Thank you.
here with Coach Sexton. And I would have killed for something like
This
this
is-
when
it's-
I was in high school. This is great.
It's awesome. It really is.
And you know, it's awesome that you're taking these skills that you learn and you're actually putting them out there.
Yeah.
So thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it, man.
All right, we're going to run through some questions here. So how has your guys' season went so far as in comparison to your expectations?
When the season started, cross country is such a long season. It
Yeah.
starts honestly right after track season. If
Yeah.
you are a track runner, it starts late June and runs till November. We're still going. We still have our sectional this week and then states next week. But from when it started, we had 4 total, 2 boys, 2 girls coming out all summer. And I said, well, we're not going to be able to do much with that. And then all of a sudden, once that season started, we had close to 18 runners coming out.
Man,
So
that's huge growth.
yeah, a huge growth, especially from last year as well, coming into the season. I knew we would have some girls. Our boys, not so much, but I was very pleasantly surprised to see that the girls grew from 2 to 4 consistent runners over the summer, growing into 12 consistent runners now. So they've far exceeded my expectation. I think every one of our runners has run a personal record this season, and their best is yet to be seen with 1, potentially 2 meets to go.
That's awesome. So you hit on this just a second ago, the numbers. Your runner, how well have your runners progressed? What are the number changes we're seeing?
The greatest part about cross country is you're never really competing too harshly against everyone else. The toughest competition you'll ever face in cross country and running is yourself. And the best part is, even if it's 1 second of an improvement or 1 minute of an improvement, that's an improvement. And you can see that you're putting in the work. So they have started from the girls mid-20s. They're starting to get into the low 20s. Boys were in the 19s, getting down into the 18s now, which is boys and girls respectively always a big hurdle is those 20-minute barriers, the 18-minute barriers. So they've progressed very well. They've been putting in the work, which is amazing. And I'm sure you'll get into it, but I think our strongest suit with this team is their patience and their consistency. Like I said earlier, the season is so long that starting in June, the end really is never in sight. Until you get to mid-October, after that fall break, you realize, okay, now it's
the final leg. It's time to push and
the
push
home
and
stretch.
really,
It's the finishing shoot. Put in the cross-country terms, track terms even.
So how do you get your athletes to cut down numbers? Is it just hammering the repetition of your course? Is it a certain other thing that you have them do?
Consistency and patience. The only way you will ever get better at cross country is to just stay patient with yourself, stay consistent with the training, progressively overload that training. For example, we'll start low mileage in the beginning of the year, really 15, 20 miles a week, and we slowly get to our peak around 35, 40 miles a week. But just running itself is not going to do you any good. You have to put in those workouts in the middle of the week. You have to put in those long runs on the weekend. So it's a big mixture of those consistent, easy runs, those intense workouts, and then those long, slow distance runs, what we call our LSD runs, obviously, we're not talking about doing drugs.
Yeah. No.
The long, slow distance is one of the things that
Yeah.
helps out a runner the most. It's just getting that base underneath you, putting down the foundation upon which you can build.
Yeah.
And it really does start in June and doesn't end until
Coming up here in a couple of weeks.
before state.
Yeah.
It's a long season.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot out of you.
So, how does the difficulty of your course vary from other courses that you guys run at?
I will say that our course here at Banks County is probably the most challenging course in North Georgia.
Yeah.
In any of high school that I've ever gone to coach our cross country team. We have I call it the truest cross country course we have. A lot of the courses will just be open field. You run around soccer fields.
Yeah.
You run through maybe a cornfield here and there, maybe through some wooded trails. We have grass, asphalt, single track wooded trails, double track wooden trails that they become difficult. We have hills, we have uphills, we have downhills, we have sharp corners. You get onto the track. So in comparison to everything else, I think our course really sets us apart from other teams because being able to train on that course really sets us up for success when we get to those easier courses. For example, we'll go to Lamar Murphy Park this weekend for our sectional meet, and that's a relatively flat course. There's some rise in elevation. There's not too much gain, but I think where we train is going to set us up for the successful meet this weekend.
Yeah. So the variety that your course has specifically really helps set you guys up. So it's just playing in different conditions that other courses have.
And I think the toughest part, we don't get onto the course probably as much as we should. And the toughest part is getting the spider webs out of the trails because, oh my God, you know those Joro
Those
spiders.
things are,
The spider webs are like Teflon. And when we do a course cleanup, you just hear people screaming from across the woods, across the trails, and there's another spider web.
Yep.
Those things are no joke. They're the size of your fist.
Yeah.
Scary things out there.
Yeah.
But that's all part of cross country.
It's
They run through those spider webs. I say, hey, welcome to the outside. That's cross country, baby.
Yeah. So a question I've always wondered with whether it be cross or cross country or track, how do you punish your athletes since all you do is run?
It is fantastic question, Tanner. I really appreciate that question because that is. I actually had to deal with it not too long ago. I had to deal with it in track as well. Obviously, like you said, you can't say, hey, go run. Because, well, I was going to run in practice anyway. You can't say you're sitting out of practice. They say, nice. I don't have to.
Don't have to run.
I don't have to run today.
Yeah.
Really, I think what happened a couple weeks ago, we had a meet, and some of the runners had to get punished at practice. And what we did, I had a active recovery day where we played some games. We played ultimate frisbee, played a couple tag games. Yeah. Their punishment was they gave me their phone, they sat in the bleachers, and they had to watch us play. They had to sit out of the fun things that we are going to do. But in the case where we don't have an active recovery day, really what happens is having them sit out of a meet because part of the fun of cross country and, like you said, track is traveling to those meets, is going to the meets, interacting not only with your teammates, watching your teammates succeed, watching them give that effort, but it's interacting with other schools, other people, other coaches. You get to talk shop with them. That's part of the fun of cross country and track. So having them miss part of that fun and having them sit out of an opportunity to succeed is really the punishment. But like you say, you can't say, all right, we're running a leopard mile today. It's like, well, that was going to be the workout anyway. So I don't see how this is a punishment. That is a very good question. I appreciate that question.
Yes, sir. So we're going to get into some more personal questions now. First one being, how long have you been coaching, whether it be cross-country, track, or just any sport in general? How long have you been coaching?
I have been coaching since, I finished undergrad 2016, since So I finished undergrad 2016, the winter of 2016, and I started coaching up in Pennsylvania where I went to undergrad.
Yeah.
I started coaching 2017, and I've been coaching since. 7 years? Going on 8 years now?
Yeah, going
Yeah,
on
7, 8 years. My start was at a school in Pennsylvania, Pocono Mountain West, where I was a long-term substitute.
Yeah.
Track coach asked, do you know anything about track? I said, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can coach distance. They said, perfect, we need a distance runner,
Yeah.
distance coach.
Yeah.
So I came out, helped them out, and then I moved down to Georgia, where I got my start at Athens Academy.
Yeah.
I know everyone has differing opinions of Athens Academy, but hey, they gave me the opportunity where I actually coached pole vault there. Never pole vaulted once, but I knew that it was a great opportunity to do something that I enjoyed, which was being part of the track team. And then coached pole vault and helped distance at Athens Academy for a couple years. Got a job at Oglethorpe County High School where I coached track and field there, helping out with the pole vault. And then now I'm here at beautiful Banks County.
Yep.
Track and cross country.
Yep. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Oh, go Leopards.
There we go. So what sparked you to become a coach? Was it your past in running cross country and running track, or was it something that you want to see? Is it something like you want to see a change in kids nowadays, positively affect them?
I think the start of it was my own experiences in running, and my dad was my coach my whole entire life. Not my official high school coach, but outside of school, he was always coaching our basketball, baseball, soccer teams. Yeah. And then finally, when I did start specializing in distance running, he was the big help for me. And I realized that you had the opportunity to help somebody through coaching. And I had a pretty extensive knowledge from a young age of distance running. Just my dad was a great distance runner. My mom was a great distance swimmer. So they coached their whole entire lives. My mom was my swim coach my whole life. So seeing what they could provide to athletes and how they could just change their life, I started realizing I had a knack for it when I was in high school, and just my teammates were coming to me for advice because they knew that I had that ability to coach them. Yeah. And I realized, hey, I could probably make a career out of this. Yeah. So it really started from a young age, and I just liked seeing people succeed. And I really like helping them succeed. And I'll always say that, coaching, really, I'm just putting words in a correct order for them to understand, especially with running. It's pretty straightforward as far as how to coach. You just kind of have to run, but there's a little more to it. Yeah. But I'll tell everyone that with successive athletes, I only take 1%. Yeah. Because I don't get out there and pole vault. I don't get out there and high jump or long jump or run the 800. I just tell them what to do, and they have to go and perform. So I'll take 1% of the credit. They can have 99 for as far as I'm concerned.
So last question, I always end off the episodes with these. What is the perfect athlete in your mind from a physical standpoint and how they behave in the classroom and outside of just their sport?
I think the perfect athlete is coachable. Yeah. A coachable athlete, they don't have to be physically the best or most talented athlete. All they have to do is listen and put it into practice. And that's one of the hardest things, honestly, as a coach, is getting coachable athletes. You can't teach coachability. Yeah. You can't teach someone how to listen. You can just repetition, hopefully be patient and consistent enough, like we said at the beginning, that it'll start to stick for them. But I think the perfect athlete is someone who is coachable, someone who trusts their coach, trusts that they have the best interest in mind, and they put into practice what the coach is telling them. That, in my opinion, is the perfect athlete.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Coach
Nugent. Of course. No segments?
Yes.
We got any more segments?
No segments.
What do you think is the perfect athlete?
I think like you said, coachability is the biggest. It's the biggest thing, and then having an athlete that wants it more than everybody else, I feel like is a huge thing. You can't teach coachability, and you can't teach attitude. You can yell at a kid, scream at a kid all you want. It's not gonna get the result that you want from them. So it's really just the want to attitude of an athlete is the biggest thing.
I like that.
They can have.
How do you get the want to attitude out of your athletes? What do you think?
I mean, it's really just a combination of the kid loving the sport so much that they're willing to do whatever it takes to get better, and the coach finding their way of coaching that particular athlete to get them to get to that point, whatever it may be, whether it's them staying after doing extra reps, whether it's them, some people respond to yelling and aggressiveness in different ways. It's just how the coach finds a relationship with that player that works and finds a way to get the best out of that athlete.
I like that, seeking that help. Okay.
Yep.
Is this something you're interested in, coaching?
I really don't. I really haven't thought about
See
it.
a future in that?
I don't know.
Or is a future in podcasting? That's where the money is now.
Evidently, yeah. Thousands of them out there.
Well, Tanner, I got to say, thank you for letting me on this. I really appreciate that. And like I said at the beginning, I really like what y'all are doing here.
Yeah.
Not only with the podcast, but with the news channel and the little sitcom show y'all got going on. It's great, and that's where we're going as far as media goes. So I'm really happy to see that some of the young guys and girls are getting ahead of the curve and getting to it at an early age, because that's how it starts.
Yes.
So thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, man.
Yep. This is our 3rd episode of the Coach's Corner podcast. Thank all of you for watching.
Go Leopards.
Go Leopards. Thank you, man.
Tanner, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.